lavish.
Heavy.
Hi, my name is Joy Nesbitt, and I'm one of the directors of R&J and Ultramodern Fantasia.
Hi, my name is Vaughn Pitts, and I'm one of the directors of R&J and Ultramodern Fantasia.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We are so excited to share our production with you all. And a little bit of background to us: Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is a play about hope in the midst of societal and interpersonal darkness. It's not only an ode to the youthful experience, but it's also a representation of what unbridled optimism looks like. In a lot of ways, we felt that this is something that we need a lot of right now. So we set out to invite audiences to participate in a reimagined reality, which includes the things that we cannot do anymore, including physical and emotional intimacy. And we wanted to do this by creating a production that was neither a film nor a play, but a piece of emotional and visual art that sits right just in between.
So we reimagined Romeo and Juliet to use the tools that are most important to us right now for human connection and self-expression. Those tools include music, film, Zoom, and color. In this show, we ask for our designers and musicians to create material that evolves the text to a new level, blurring the lines between film performance and liveness. We invite you all to view this show through these lenses and reflect upon what tools you use to communicate right now and how the tools we have are and are not sufficient enough to communicate emotions that require a physical response to be true. The show will be running around 2 hours with a 5 minute intermission. My apologies. We hope that you'll join us in watching this performance in the dark with the sound turned up. Feel free to get most comfortable wherever you are and employ your best personal method that you can use to enjoy color and texture.
The cast and staff of R&J and Ultramodern Fantasia would like to dedicate this production to the BIPOC lives who have been threatened by systematic disenfranchisement, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the skyrocketing rate of unemployment. In lieu of charging tickets for each performance, we will be collecting voluntary donations towards the Black Arts Future Fund. The Black Arts Future Fund, or BAF, is a collective of emerging philanthropists promoting the elevation and preservation of Black arts and culture. Through grant making, board matching, and organization donor cultivation, they seek to amplify and strengthen the future of Black art. They provide grants to small nonprofit organizations working to enhance the future of Black arts and culture. Throughout the show, we invite you to go to bit.ly/RJF donate to donate to support Black creators and artists just like us. All right, well, thank you all so much for coming and enjoy the show.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end not could remove, is now the hour's traffic of our stage. The which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
I will bite my thumb at him, which is a disgrace to him if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better?
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw, if you be men.
Part, fools! Put up thy swords, you know not what you do.
What? Art thou drawn with this heartless hind? Turn thee, Benvolio, and look upon thy death.
I do, but keep the peace. Put up thy sword and manage to depart this fray with me.
Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell, all Montagues and thee. Turn and have at thee, coward.
What noise is this? Give me my longsword, ho.
A crutch, a crutch. Why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say. Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel. Will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage through purple fountains issuing from your veins. On pain of torture, from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague come you this afternoon to know the further pleasures in this case, to Old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Good morrow, uncle. Romeo? No. An hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city's side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, pursued my humor by not pursuing his, and gladly shunned he who gladly fled from me. Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his sighs. My noble uncle, do you know the cause? Have you importuned him by any means? Oh, see where he comes. I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
Ay, me, sad hours seem long.
What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having them, which having makes them short.
Love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so rough and tyrannous in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Ay, me, what fray was here? Yet, tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here is much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing, first create. O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos in well-seeming forms. Feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep. This is not what it is. This love feel I that feels no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, I rather weep.
Good heart at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such as love's transgressions. Griefs of my own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love thou hast shown doth add too much grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with the fumes of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz.
Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me thus, you do me wrong.
Huh. I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He is some other where.
Tell me, in sadness, who is it that you love?
What, shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan, why no, but sadly, tell me who.
Bid a sick man in sadness make his will, a word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aim so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good marksman, and she's fair, I love.
A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss. She will not be hit with Cupid's arrow, she hath Diane's wit. And in strong proof of chastity, well armed, from love's weak childish bow, she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saints seducing gold. She is rich in beauty, only poor that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
He hath sworn that she will live chaste.
She hath, and in that sparing make huge waste, for beauty, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. This happy mask that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress who is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
Ugh.
But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike. And 'tis not so hard, I think, for men so old as we, to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived it out so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying all what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in this world. She hath not seen the change of 18 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Well, younger than she, her happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. The The earth had swallowed all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an all-accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store, one more most welcome, makes my number more. And my poor house look to behold this night, earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel, when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads, e'en such delight among fresh female buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Here all see, and like her most, whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me.
At the same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some other that I shall show, and I shall make thee think thy swan a crow.
When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehoods, then turns tears to fires, and these, who could never die, often drowned, transparent heretics be burnt for liars, one fairer than my love. The all-seeing sun never saw her match since first the world begun.
Hut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales, let there be weighed your lady love's beauty with some other maid, that I will show you at this shining feast, and she shall scant show now what now seems best.
I'll go along. No sight to be shown, but to rejoice in the splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Bring her forth to me.
Now by my maidenhead at 12-year-old I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where is this girl? What Juliet?
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me, thou'st hear our counsel. Thou know'st my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour.
She's not 18.
I'll lay 18 of my teeth. And yet to my teen be it spoken, I have but 4. Even or odd, of all the days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 18. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But, as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 18. That shall she? Marry, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake, now 11 years, and she was weaned. I shall never forget it. And since that time it is 11 years. For then, she could stand alone. Nay, by the round, she could have run and waddled all about. For the day before, she broke her brow. And then my husband, oh, God be with his soul, he was a married man, took up the child and... Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit, wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holy dame, the pretty wretch left crying and said, To see now a jest shall come about. I warn him, I shall live 1,000 years. I shall never forget it, I swear. Wilt thou not, Jewel? want thee. The pretty fool. It's tinted and said,
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Peace I have done. Oh, God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that I e'er nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Mary, that Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
An honor? Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower, in faith, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another lends content. And what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margent of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride, the fair without, the fair within to hide. That book in many's eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him, making yourself no less.
No less? Nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like a Paris love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move, but no more deep will I indart mine eye than your consent, with strength to make it fly.
Ah, the guests are come.
Go, girls, seek happy nights to happy days.
What speech shall be made for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
The date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with the scarf bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, scaring the ladies like a crowkeeper. Nor no without book prologue faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance. But let them measure us what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground, I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound, I cannot bound a pitch above a dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it should you burden love, too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like a thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case, my visage in. A For a visor. What care I what curious eyes doth coat deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in but every man betaken to his legs.
Not I. A torch for me. Let wantons light of hearts tickle the senseless rushes with their heels. For I am proverb with the Grandshire phrase. I'll be the candle holder and look on. The game was never so fair, and I am done.
Tut! Done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire of, save your reverence, love, wherein thou stickest up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight, ho!
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay we waste our lights in vain, like lamps by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that are once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well going to this mess, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
What was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh. Then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife. She comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes, made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider web, the collars of the moonshine's water beam, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film. Her wagoner is a small coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked in the lazy finger of the maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or grub. Time out of mind, the fairies coachmakers. And in the date, she gallops night by night. Through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Over courtiers' knees who dream on curtsy straight, over lawyers' fingers who straight dream on face, over ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry mad with blisters plagues because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops over a courtier's nose and then dreams he of smelling at a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tight pigtail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep, and then he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth over a soldier's neck, and then cutting foreign throats, of breeches, buskers, Spanish blades, of 5 fathoms deep, and then anon, drum his ears at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very mad that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once entangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie in their back, that presses them and learns them persevere, making them women of good carriage. This is she that comes in the night and
Peace, Mercutio! Peace! Thou talkst of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and, being angered, puffs away from thence, turning his face to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early. Blindness gives. Some consequence yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with tonight's revels, and expire the term of a despised life close in my breast. Some vile forfeit of an untimely death. Oh, but he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike drum!
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. Aha, my mistresses! Which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Am I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play! A hall, give room, and footed girls, and quench the fire, the room has grown too hot. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, for you and I are past our dancing days. How long is it now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight? Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems that she hangs upon the cheek of night, like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady over her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. What? Dares the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town, here in my house, do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns, and all seeming semblance for a feast.
It fits when such a villain is a guest, I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to! Am I the master here or you? Go to! You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You make immunity, my guest. You will set cockhoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame!
Go to! You are a saucy boy. Is it so indeed? This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my hearts. You are a prinkox. Go, be quiet, or more light, more light. For shame, be quiet, or what cheerly, my hearts.
Patience, perforce, with willful choler meeting, makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
I profane, with my unworthiest hand, this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: My lips, two blushing pilgrims, stand ready to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Which mannerly devotion shows in this, where saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have saints not lips and holy palmers too?
I, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
And move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus, from my lips by thine, my sin is purged.
And have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips. Oh, trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kissed by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Marry, bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chink.
She a Capulet? Oh, dear God, my life is in my foe's debt.
Away, be gone. The sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear the more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling, foolish banquet towards... Is it e'en so? Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on then, let's to bed. Ah, syrup. By my fay, it waxes late. I'll to my rest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
His name is Romeo, and de Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now of when I danced with all.
Anon, anon, come, let's away. The strangers all are gone.
Can I go forward while my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo. My cousin, Romeo.
He's wise, and on my life I've thrown him home to bed.
Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Human! Madman, passion, lover! Appear thou in the likeness of a sign. Speak but one rhyme and I'm satisfied. Cry but Amy, pronounce but love and love. Speak to my gossip Venus for one favorite. One nickname for her pure blind son and heir, young Abraham Cupid. He that shot so true when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. But dead, I must conjure him. I conjure thee, by Rosaline's bright eyes, her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domains that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou will appear to us.
If he hears thee, thou wilt anger him.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree and wish that his mistress were that kind of brute as the gates call medlars when they laugh alone. Oh, Romeo, that you were an open arse and thou a poprin pear. Romeo, ugh, out of my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not be found.
He jests that scars and never felt a wound. But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who's already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my love. It is my lady. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? Brightness of her cheeks would shame those stars as daylight doth the lamp. Her eyes would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? I were a glove upon that hand that I might touch that cheek. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious this night, being over our head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy, puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, thou no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By name, I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high, and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I overperch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack! There lies more peril in thine eyes than in 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me, let them find me here. For my life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as the vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush but paint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, and fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say, Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else not for the world. In truth, for Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more coying to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love passion. Therefore, pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love that the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver these fruit treetops shall.
Swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon which monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to my heart, thy heart is that within my breast.
Wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I have gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. I come, good nurse, sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night! I am afeard. Being in night, all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon, but if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy suit and lead me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worst to want thy light. Love goes towards love, like schoolboys from their books, but love, from school with heavy looks.
Hist! Romeo, hist! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure that tasseled gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues at night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo,
My dear,
what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
by the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I will forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
It's almost morning. I would have thee gone and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner after gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, the loving jealous of his liberty.
I would. I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eye, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence I will go to my ghostly father's cell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For not so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give, nor aught so good but strained from that fair use revolts from true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified. With the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence, and medicine power. For this being smelt with that part cheers each part, being tasted, slays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still, in men as well as herbs, grace and rude will, and where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, father.
What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused by some distemperature. Or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
The less is true, the sweeter rest was mine.
God, pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father, no. I forgot that name, and that name is woe.
That's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee, ere thou ask it of me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy. My heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine is set on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. We met, where and when and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! If Rosaline, whom thou did love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline! How much salt water thrown away in waste, to season love that of it doth not taste. The sun, not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans bring
yet in mine ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that's not washed off yet, if e'er thou wast thyself. And these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline, and art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall where there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not for loving, people mine.
You base me bury love.
Art in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Well thy love did read by rote and could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Senor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us accounts of it fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. And what counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio, but my business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
Meaning to curtsy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Nay, I'm the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Goodly gear.
A sail.
Dude. A shirt and a smock.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman nurse who loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
If he speak anything against me, I'll take him down. If he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave, I am none of his flirt gills, I am none of his stains mates. Now, afore God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if you should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her truly, it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart, and of faith I will tell her as much. Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? If thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon. There she shall, at Friar Lawrence's cell, be shrived and married. Here's for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon? Sir, well, you shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which, to the high top galleon of my joy, must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to thy mistress.
Now, God in heaven bless thee, hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you never hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
I warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Oh, Lord, when 'twas a little prating thing. Oh, there is a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the properer man, but I'll warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any clout in the Wurzel wood.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Before, and apace.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Man, but come what sorrow can. It cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute doth give me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough, I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in its own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so, too swift arrives, as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady. Oh, so light of foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamers that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall. So light is vanity.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for his proof.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Ah, Julian, if the measure of thy joy be heaped up like mine, in that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let music's rich tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth, for my dear love has grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come, short work, for by your leave shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl, for now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of these fellows that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup, draws it on the drawer, when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come. Thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And were I so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man could buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple, oh simple.
Oh, by my head. Here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Gentlemen, good evening. A word with one of you.
And but a word with one of us? Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to do that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortst with Romeo.
Consort? What, dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us? Look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Mary, go before to field. He'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man.
Romeo! The love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore, farewell. I see thou notest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done to me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest. I never injured thee, but loved thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender, as dear as mine own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission. Our staccato carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Oh, good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives that I mean to make bold withal. And as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword from his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
Gentle Mercutio!
I am for you.
Come, sir, yer passado.
Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt! Good Mercutio!
I'm hurt. Plague go both your houses, I'm sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What? Art thou hurt?
I scratch a scratch. Mary, 'tis enough.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I'm peppered. I warrant for this world. A plague o' both your houses. Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought it all for the best.
Help me to some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague, both your houses. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt on my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt that an hour hath been my cousin. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy love hath made me blind, and my temper softened, valored steel.
Oh, Romeo. Romeo. Brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
on more days doth depend. This but begins the woes that others must end. Alive, in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now! Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. That late thou gavest me from Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, saying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must accompany him.
Thou, wretched boy, that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that!
Romeo, away. Be gone. The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, be gone. Away.
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the woman slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt? My cousin? Oh, prince! Cousin! Husband! Oh, the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman! Prince, thou art true, for blood of ours, shed blood of Montague! Oh, cousin! Cousin!
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bolt Mercutio's breast, who, all is hot, turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity returns it. Romeo cries aloud, "Hold, friends, friends, part!" And swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt the rushes underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hid the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled, but by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge. And to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw apart them was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, Romeo did turn and fly. That is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false, he speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live. Romeo slew her. She slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe? And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence.
I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. I will immerse you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses, therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence his body and attend our will. Mercy, but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Gallop apace, fiery-footed steeds towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a Wagner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy closed curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agree with night. Come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood, bathing in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grow bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come night, come Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him up in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. I have bought the mansion of a love and not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news, what hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Aye, the cords.
I mean, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Where a day he is dead. She's dead, he is dead. We are undone. Lady, alack, we are undone. She's gone. She's killed. He's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo. Who ever would have thought it? Romeo! I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark here on the breast, a piteous corse, a bloody, piteous corse, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
Break my heart, poor brain, but break at once. To prison eyes ne'er look on liberty, vile earth and earth resign, and motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman. Oh, that I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead, my dear cousin and my dearest lord? The dreadful trumpet sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, alas the day, it did.
The serpent-hearted with a flowering face Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despise its substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seekst. A damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hast thou to do in hell when thou didst devour the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing so vile matter so fairly bound? But deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Where's my woman? Get me some aqua vitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame, come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit, for 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, so monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Well, you speak well of him that killed your cousin.
Will I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? Wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears. Back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore we by then. Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there, or if sour woe delights in fellowship and neatly will be ranked with other griefs, why followed not when she said Tybalt's dead, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern limitation might have moved. But with a real word following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse, will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Watch they her wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Pick up those cords. Poor ropes, you are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I am made by maiden with come cords. Come, nurse, out to my wedding bed, and death not Romeo take my maiden head.
Hie you to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lauren's cell.
I'll bid him come to take his last farewell.
When you and I were 17 and life and love were new. The world was just a field of green and skies were smiling blue. That golden spring when I was king and you, my wonderful queen. Do you recall when love was all and we were 17? Oh, no. When you and I were 17.
Romeo, come forth. Come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not?
Familiar is my dear son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
Well, less than doomsday is the prince's doom.
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, body's banishment.
Banishment. Be merciful and say death. For exile hath much more terror and is looked much more than death. Do not say banishment.
From Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona's walls, but torture, purgatory, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished is death mistermed. Calling death banished, thou cuttest off my head with the golden axe and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
Deadly sin, O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law and turned that black word, death, to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here, where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and every little mouse, every unworthy thing lives here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lies and carrion flies in Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, who still in pure and vestal modesty still blush, thinking her kiss is sin. Flies may do this, but from this I must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hast thou no poison mix, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, though never so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished. Oh, friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howling attends to it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed to mangle me with that word banished?
Madman, hear me, but speak a word.
Oh, wilt thou speak again of banishment?
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word, adversity's milk, philosophy to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
yet banish it. Hang on philosophy, unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not. No.
Then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they when the wise have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of what thou dost not feel. Art thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me, and like me banished, then mightst thou speak. Then mightst thy tear out thy hair, and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
5, 1 knocks. Romeo, hide thyself.
Not I, unless the breath of hearts that groans mist-like enfold me in the throats of eyes.
Romeo, rise. Wilt thou be taken? Run to my study. What simpleness is this? Whence come you? What's your will?
You shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Oh, Holy Friar, tell me, where is my lady's lord? Where is Romeo?
There on the ground with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress' case, just in her case. Oh, woeful sympathy. Piteous predicament, even so lies she blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Hey, stand up. Stand up, stand. You stand and be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an oh?
Nurse.
Sir, death is the end of it all.
Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Does she not think me an old murderer now that I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood little removed from our own? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
She says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps. Now falls on her bed and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name, shot from the deadly level of a gun, did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar! Tell me in what vile part doth this anatomy lodge, that I may sack this hateful mansion?
Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself? And slay thy lady that in thy life lives, by doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth? The heaven and earth, since birth and heaven and earth, all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldst lose. Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which like a usurer aboundst in all, and usest none that in true use indeed, which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of a man, thy dear sworn love but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit, that ornament to shape and love misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skilless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance. And thou dismembered with thine own defense. What? Rouse thee, man! That Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wert but lately dead. There. Art thou happy? Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There. Art thou happy? The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There. Art thou happy? Take heed. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love. As was decreed, ascend her chamber hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 20,000 times more joy than thou went forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all night to hear good counsel. What learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so. And tell her to prepare to chide.
Ah, you make haste, for it grows very late.
Oh, well, my comfort is revived by this.
Good night. Understand all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence. The dream is I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances you. Give me thy hand. It is late. Farewell and good night.
Joy past joy calls out on me. It were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily, that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly. And so did I. Well, we were born to die. It is very late, she'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she's mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her mark you me on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday, haha. Well, Wednesday is too soon. A Thursday let it be. A Thursday, tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll have no great ado, a friend or two. For hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
I'll get you gone. A Thursday let it be. Go to her ere you go to bed. Prepare her wife against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber, ho! For me, it is so very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Will thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it is the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn. No nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and Jocelyn day stands tiptoe in the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight, I know it I. It is some meteor that the sun exhaled to be to thee this night a torchbearer and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. I am content. So thou wilt have it so. I say, yon gray, it is not the reflex of the morning eye, but 'tis the reflex of Cynthia's brow, nor that it is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is it, my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. It is. Hie hence, be gone away. It is the nightingale. It is. It is the lark that pierced the. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, draining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and low the toad changed eyes. But now I would at word they changed voices too, since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, and more dark and dark our woes.
Madam,
nurse,
your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
Then window let day in and let life out.
Well, farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, Lord, I, husband, friend, I must hear from you every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years, ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity to convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh God, I have an ill divining soul. Methinks I see thee now. Thou art below as when dead in the bottom of the tomb. Either my eyesight fails or thou lookst pale.
Trust me, love, in my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Fortune, fortune. All men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for fame? Be fickle, fortune. For then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back. What's that calls? It is my lady mother. Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet? There more weeping for your cousin's death. What, wilt thou wash her from her grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make her live, therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss, I cannot help but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weeps not so much for her death as that the villain lives which slaughtered her.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
I, from the reach of these my hands, would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. Then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied till I behold Romeo.
Find now the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl. Well.
And joy comes well in such a needy time.
Thou hast a careful father, child. One who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, which thou expectest not, nor I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, shall at St. Peter's Church, shall haply make thee there a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this
Here
feast.
comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and he see how he shall take it at your hands.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew. But for the sunset of my brother's daughter, it rains downright. How now, a conduit girl, not still in tears, ere more showering? In one little body, thou counterfeits a bark, a sea, a wind. For still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing in this salt flood. The winds thy sighs, who raging with tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm will overset thy tempest-tossed body. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft. Take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How? Will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful you in hate that is meant love.
How? Chopped logic, what is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud. Mistress minion you. Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither! Out, you green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage! You tallow face!
Fie, what are you, mad?
Good father, I beseech you on my knees, but with patience to hear
Hang thee, young baggage! Disobedient wretch! I tell thee what, get thee to church on Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me! My fingers itch! Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God hath lent us but this only child. But now I see that one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, Hilding!
God in heaven bless her, you are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue, good Prudence. Smatter with your gossips. Go!
I speak no treason.
Oh God, I, Gadine.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool! Utter your gravity, or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's bread, it makes me mad! Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair domains, youthful and nobly lined, stuffed, as they say, with honourable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have this wretched pulling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But if you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on't, I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise. If you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. If you be not, hand, beg, starve, die in the streets! For by my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you. I will not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if thou wilt not, make my bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
God, nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How should that faith return again to earth unless my husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me. Counsel me. Alack that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith. Here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing, that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you, or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as it now doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish-clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match. For it excels your first, or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were as living here, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, you have comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lauren's cell to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation. O most wicked fiend. Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue that she hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, counselor. Thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
On Thursday, sir, the time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You do not know the lady's mind? Uneven is the course, I like it not.
Immoderately, she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I talked little of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason for this haste?
But I know why it should be flowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward myself.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be. Love on Thursday next.
What must be, shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to the friar?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will you, I am sure, that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price being spake behind your back than to your face.
Or so. Thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory by that, for 'twas bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrongest it more with that report?
It is no slander, sir, that is a truth, and what I spake it to my face.
But thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
Maybe so, for it is not mine own. You're at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to thee at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse you. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Shut the door. When thou hast done so, come weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help.
Yet I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it. On Thursday next, be married to this county?
Tell me not, friar, that thou heardst of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou can give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. God joined my heart and Romeo's thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo sealed shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another, this shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experienced time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt me and my extremes, this bloody knife shall play the umpire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art could to no issue of true honor bring. Be not so long to speak. I long to die if what thou speaks be not a remedy.
Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope which craves as desperate an execution as desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris thou hast the strength of will to kill thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame, that cost with death himself to escape from it. If thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap, rather than marry perish from off the battlements of any tower, or walk in thievish ways, or lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, or hide me nightly in a genre house, or covered quite with dead man's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new made grave, and hide me with a dead man in his shroud, things that to hear them told have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home. Be married. Give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night look that thou lie alone. So let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Then take thou this vial. Being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off. And presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep this native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to paly ashes. Thy windows fall like death when he shuts up the day of life, each part deprived of subtle government. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 40 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Then when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou, dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes, uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. And this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear bait thy valor in the acting of it.
Give me, oh tell not me of fear.
Hold. Get you gone. Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua, with letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father. Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. But a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene, I needs must act alone. Come, vial. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No. No, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be a poison that the friar hath subtly ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored because he married me already to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How if, when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I then not be stifled in the tomb, to whose foul mouth no wholesome air breathes in, and there die strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place? As in a vault, an ancient receptacle, where for these many hundred years all the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in her shroud, where, as they say, at some spirits, and sometimes at night spirits resort. Alack, alack, is it not like that I so early waking, what with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them run mad? Will I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from her shroud, and in this rage, with some great kinsman's bone, as with a club dash out my desperate brains? Oh, methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo that did spit her body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay. Romeo, this do I drink to thee. Romeo, Romeo, Romeo. Here's drink.
Mistress! Mistress! Juliet! Madam! 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 Aye, let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up, if faith. Will it not be? What? Dressed and in your clothes and down again? Well, I must needs wake you. Lady! Lady! Lady? Alas! Alas, help! Help! Help!
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable death!
What is the matter?
My lady's dead!
My child, my only life. Revive. Look, I'll die with thee. Help. Help! Help!
For shame. Bring Juliet forth. Come.
Deceased! Alack, she's dead.
Alack the day. She's dead! She's dead! She's dead! Oh.
Out, alas. She's cold. Her blood is settled and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost. Her
upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
Oh, vegetable death! Oh, woeful time.
Death that hath ta'en her hands to make me wail. Ties up my tongue and will not let me speak. O son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law, death is my heir. My daughter he hath wedded. I will die and leave him all life, living all his deaths.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face? And doth it give me a sight such as this?
Oh child, my soul and my child, dead art thou.
Beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain. Most detestable death by thee beguiled, by cruel thee quite overthrown.
Accursed, unhappy, wretched,
Life, not life, but
hateful
loving
day.
death.
Most miserable hour that e'er time saw in lasting labor of his pilgrimage. But one, poor one poor and loving child, but one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death that catched it from my side.
Peace, oh, for shame. Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now, heaven hath all, and all the better it is for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, for 'twas your heaven she should be advanced. And weep you now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds, as high as heaven itself? Oh, in this love you love your child so ill that you run mad, seeing that she is well. She's not well married that lives long, but she's best married that dies married young. Dry up your tears, and stick your rosemary on this fair corse, as custom is, in all her best array. Bear her to church, for though fond nature bids us all lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordain at a festival turn from their office to black funeral. Our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheer to a sad burial feast. Our sullen hymns to sullen dirges change. Our bridal flowers serve for a buried cause. And all things change them to the contrary.
Sir, go you in, and madam, go with him. And go, Sir Paris. Everyone prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lower upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
If I may trust the flattering truth asleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's Lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives dead man leave to think. And breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Oh, me. How sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Benvolio? Dost thou not bring me any news from the friar? How doth my lady? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she can be well.
Then she is well and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodgings. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, have patience. You seem pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Hush, thou art deceived. Hast thou no news to me from the friar?
No, my good friend.
No matter. Get thee gone. I will be with thee straight. Oh, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Safer means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter into the thoughts of desperate men. Do remember an apothecary, and hereabout he dwells, which late I noted. Come, cordial and not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there I must use thee. How oft, when men are at the point of death, have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death? Oh, how may I call this lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not yet conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks. Dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that the unsubstantial death is amorous, that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in the dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain, with worms that are thy chambermaid. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a daintless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter pilot. Come, bitter conduct. Come, unsavory guide. Desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus with a kiss. I
Still feel you on me like the waves that brought you here. I am drowning in it. Oh, how can someone take on my space when
Poison, the sea hath been his timeless end. No, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make me die with a restorative.
I'm trying to live, trying to breathe without you. I wanna be strong, don't wanna need, but I do.
Oh, happy dagger. This is thy sheath. There rest. Let me die.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning rest?
What should it be that they so shriek abroad?
The people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears?
Sovereign, here lies Romeo, dead, and Juliet, dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here's a friar and Romeo slaughtered, with instruments upon him fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh heavens! Oh wife, look how our daughter bleeds. This dagger hath misstain. For lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and it missheathed on my daughter's bosom.
The sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, their true descent. And then will I be general of your woes and lead you even to death. Meantime, forbear. Let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do least, yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder.
And say at once what thou dost know in this.
And here I stand, both to impeach and purge myself condemned, and myself excused.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did by a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die in blood, Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague. See what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discord too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished. The sun, for sorrow, will not show his head. Go hence, and have more talk of these sad things. Some will be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
If my heart is
Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. Oh, I have needed thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness.